actually went off topic yesterday and we just started talking about like
Okay, fantastic. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to
Hello.
Focus 8 to 10 Architecture. You are
Exciting.
being taught by Oscar and Paul today. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
I will, yeah. So my name is Paul and I'm from Ireland in the south. And I've been teaching in my English school, well, in Florence since January. And before that, I was in my English school in Villa Libertà. And as I said, it's obviously wonderful teaching all our great students. And Oscar, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, I have been in Florence for, I guess, 7, 8, no, it can't be that long, 7 months now at this school teaching. Before that, I was traveling and teaching in South America. And before
Oh,
that, I
wow.
was working in London. And I'm from a town called Hastings.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Cool, cool,
Hastings is
cool.
in South England, near Brighton.
And Oscar, just a quick question. Do you think the architecture is more beautiful in England or in Italy? What do you think?
Oh, it's a good question. I think you'd have to compare specific places.
Okay.
For example, I think generally Italian architecture is more beautiful, but there might be one or two places, Kensington in London, where you've got these lovely, great mansions and stuff. Where,
Okay. Yeah.
and what about you, Ireland or Italy?
I think Italy, it's easier for me to make that decision. But there's a really famous city in Cork called Cove, which is famous for its connection to the Titanic. And there's this kind of beautiful row of houses, and they all have like different colors, and it's fantastic scenery, and it's kind of simple as well. So I would obviously recommend people to go to Cork if they fancy checking out good architecture.
Sounds
So guys,
sounds similar to Cinque Terre,
it
which I
does.
went
It
to
does.
on Saturday, where there were some really beautiful houses, quite small fishing villages, lots of different colours.
Oh wow,
Lovely, lovely architecture. Yeah.
cool. I must definitely try and check it out for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, just a general question. When we can see our viewers, of course, what, in your opinion, is the most beautiful architecture in Italy? For me, it's the Dome in Florence because obviously we're here. Um, so I personally like the Dome. Oscar, what about you? Is there anything that kind of, catches your eye, that is eye-catching?
For me, it would have to be the ancient architecture in Rome.
Okay.
Even though the buildings, the structures are obviously very damaged, like the
Okay.
Roman Forum, if you see the Roman Forum in sunset, that was like
Okay.
amazing. I thought it was beautiful, incredible. Yeah, so that would have to be it for me. Maybe
Wow.
the Roman Forum.
We just have a comment here by Seamus. So it says, we have a lovely architecture in Donegal, Ireland. The old thatched houses are amazing looking. Nice adjective, Seamus. Very, very good. Yes, thatched houses are kind of common here as well. And detached houses are quite common in London, right, Oscar? You're from London, yes?
Yeah, the thatched houses.
Yes.
Yeah, are you getting, because detached houses, yeah, where it's like separate houses, but thatched in London, not too much. If you go to
Okay.
Kent or East
Mhm.
Sussex, then yeah, there's some more thatched roofs. Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Excellent. So still waiting for one or two comments by our viewers in terms of architecture. So guys, don't be afraid to introduce yourselves. Tell us where you're from, your city, tell us about you. We're more than happy to answer any questions you have in relation to architecture. So only Seamus so far is introducing themselves. Can anybody else tell us who they are, please?
Well, hopefully later some more people will join and they can introduce themselves then.
For sure. We've got about 4 viewers.
We'll get started and hope that they join us. Okay,
For
Paul,
sure.
can you
Cool.
read this, please?
Yes. So architecture, it says in this focus, describing architecture, passives, and presenting a structure. So Oscar, I'm a student. You're my teacher. Tell me, what is the meaning of a passive? When do I use it?
There's a few reasons we use passives. When the subject is not important,
okay,
or we don't know.
Okay.
For example, when we talk about buildings,
yeah,
the date it was constructed,
okay,
or the way it was constructed, is often more important than the person who built it, the subject.
okay.
We don't really care who built the building.
Okay. Interesting. Very good. Cool.
Yeah. Would you agree?
So, yeah, I agree. So if I'm a student and I ask you a question, for example, we would say the subject, Paul, kicks the ball. Okay, Paul kicks the ball. Is that sentence active or passive?
That's an active sentence, yeah.
Okay,
the subject
why?
doing the verb on the object.
Yeah, so if we have here, just type in a comment. So Paul kicks the ball. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so we know. So yeah, the subject, which is me in this context, and it's a present verb, present simple verb, and it's third person. Okay, interesting. So Paul kicks the ball. That's what we call active. And thanks, teacher. And Oscar, can you make that a past passive, please?
Yeah. Past passive. I'm going to type it in.
Interesting. I wonder what the answer
was kicked by Paul.
Very good. Yeah, thank you. So the ball was kicked by Paul. Very good. Okay. So this is what we use to describe the passive, everyone. So as you can see, the object, as Oscar was saying, the focus is not on the object, the focus is more on the object than the subject. Excuse me, confusing my words. And generally speaking, guys, when you see the preposition by, it's followed by the subject. So the ball is kicked. So Paul kicks the ball. Guys, can any of you make this, I don't know, a future passive or a modal passive? Any idea?
Yeah, or a present passive.
Or present perfect even, or a present perfect continuous passive, or a future continuous passive.
Many options.
So many options,
yes, how
guys.
Exciting.
Feel free. We're waiting for you guys to comment. So this is our subject, Paul kicks the ball, and we're waiting for a passive example. Seamus, I'm expecting you to give one as well. Our lovely Seamus in the background, always helping.
While the students write their passives,
yeah,
do you think the man in this photo has ever been near a building site?
I actually don't know.
It doesn't look like
it kind of has Mike. He doesn't really look like a professional architect, to be honest.
No, I mean he's not even looking at the building. It's not a good example.
Yeah, he probably looks like if I were a constructor, I would probably be him, to be honest.
Try and look important.
Exactly. No, Oscar, you're definite. Have you ever? Well, my dad's an architect, actually.
Oh, really?
So he often designs houses and parks. He works at the moment. Well, unfortunately, with the construction industry, he's working self-employed. Oh, okay, very good. Hi, Rusa. Very good. Excellent. So the ball is kicked by Paul. Marina, very good. Great.
The ball is kicked by Paul. Perfect. Very good.
Excellent. So, hi, Marina. Welcome. So very good. Excellent. So the ball is kicked by Paul. Very nice. Excellent. The ball
Paul
will be hit by Paul.
by
Thanks, Seamus. Yeah. So that's a future passive. Very good, guys. It's just a simple example, but these are how we use it. Can anyone think of a modal, like modal verbs should, could, must? The ball has been. Oh, we got a present perfect here. Beautiful, Seamus. Very good. The ball has been kicked by Paul. Great job. Good.
Very good. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, moving on. We'll move on to the next slide. Oh,
You can do this. No.
interesting.
What do you think, Paul?
Could you repeat your question, please? Just because I couldn't hear you with the connection. Can you repeat, please? Your question.
Do you prefer
Yeah.
modern architecture or
Ah.
older styles?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, for me, older styles, absolutely. You can't beat ancient art. Also, guys, feel free to tell us as well what you prefer, modern or old. I remember last year I was living in a city called Granada that is also very famous for its architecture, and I recommend you guys certainly to see it. It's called the Alhambra, and it's like a Disney movie when you see the architecture. There's a structure that you can go to a viewing place that's called Los Miradores de San Nicolas, Saint Nicholas Views, and you have a view of this wonderful castle. And when the sun goes down, the castle lights up, and in the background, just to make it sound more interesting, you have like the view of the mountains and the snow. It's something that is the heart of Spain, as they say. But it's a wonderful structure.
Wow.
But it's also very ancient and it's known for its architecture. So, what about you, Oscar? Do you prefer modern or older styles?
I think, like you, usually I prefer older styles.
Okay.
Modern styles, I think, can be very hit or miss. Sometimes we see something modern and we think,
Yeah.
wow, that looks amazing. How did they do that? And sometimes you
sure.
see something modern and like, that looks terrible. Why did they build
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And Oscar, I'll ask you question number 2. Has anything been built or renovated in your city in London recently?
it? In London, I'm not too sure. There's always something, obviously. In
Yeah.
Hastings, my hometown, they
Yeah.
are always making it look nicer, more things to do, more attractions. It's always developing.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I grew up there,
Okay.
and now it looks much nicer now. So it's very nice to see Hastings becoming more developed with good architecture and that sort of thing.
Cool.
What about Cork, Paul?
It's a good question.
Has
Yeah,
anything
Cork.
been built or renovated in your city recently?
The biggest problem in Cork at the moment, first of all, it's a very famous city where many Italians actually go and try and live or work. I suppose accommodation is one of the biggest areas that is being developed at the moment. There's a bit of a housing crisis, so apartments. Interesting for sure. And Oscar, I gave my experience about the Alhambra. have you visited any famous buildings and which ones? And sorry, before you speak, guys, can you also tell us, any responses to questions 1 to 4? We want to hear from you as well. So, Oscar, question 3, please.
Yes, visited any famous buildings?
Interesting.
I visited a few ancient buildings,
Okay.
like maybe Machu Picchu in
Oh,
Peru.
wow. Oh,
I visited that. I don't know if that counts as a building. It's more of a site, but that was certainly very interesting. I've
okay.
cycled. I've rode a bike over the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is very fun.
The joys of traveling. The joys of traveling, for
Yeah,
sure.
yes. And
Absolutely. What would you say was your favorite? Machu
what,
Picchu or the one in San Francisco?
um,
Because they're both so
difficult to
different.
say, but well, my favorite was a different ruin, a different ancient building
Okay.
near Machu Picchu
Hmm.
called Choqquechirá,
Okay.
which
Oh
was
wow.
very difficult to get to. So there was no
Okay.
tourist, but it was very cool. So that would be my favorite ancient building I visited or site. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow. That's really, really cool.
And what about your favorite building or structure, Paul? If you have a favorite building or structure,
Ooh, good question, Oscar.
apart from the My Yes school, of course.
I don't know. I just don't have an answer, to be honest. I can't think of an answer at the moment. As I said, if I'm just commenting on architecture in general, of course, like
Is
Florence
there
is
maybe
eye-catching.
a favorite museum?
I'm not really into museums. I'm very, very more of an outdoor person. I
Oh,
suppose Ponte Vecchio, every time you see it, it's unbelievable. It's spectacular, especially on a sunny day like today when you're walking around Florence and you see Ponte Vecchio, you just pause and I suppose the modern generation takes an Instagram of it, or just you just seeing it in general. What about you, Oscar?
hmm. Favorite? Yeah, I think for me, maybe the British Museum in London. I just
Okay.
think it's an amazing space. It's so
Okay.
open and there's so much light, and I love history. So obviously, and there's so much history there. And the architecture, it's got
Interesting.
this massive glass dome. So you're like inside, but it feels like you're outside. It's very interesting, very cool.
I'm not really into like being inside. I don't know. People always say to me like, "Oh, you have to go to this museum, that museum." I'm not really, you know, I'm just being honest. I'm just not really into it. I recommend you to go to another wonderful place for its design and architecture. Again, I'm
Yeah.
referring to the south of Spain because I was living there. It was in Seville, Plaza de España. So again, it's like another wonderful landmark, spectacular place to go as well. Um, for example, Marina, have you visited any of the places that we've said, or could you give? Forgive me, I think you're from Russia. Well, I think you're from Russia. Could you tell us anything to see from Russia, like in Saint Petersburg, for example, or in Rome, of course? Feel free to engage with us, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
Hmm. Okay.
Interesting. So,
Well,
guys, feel
hopefully
free to
we can come back.
yeah. So, moving on.
Okay. Let's see. Paul, can you read the first part?
Okay, so fry scraper, find passives in the text. What tenses are there? Oh, Oscar, I have a few questions, please, on pronunciation because I need you to
Ah,
help me. I'm sure your
yeah.
pronunciation is a lot more clear than mine. How can I pronounce the word Okay, it's in the third. Nuck name? How can I pronounce that word? It's next to the word different. How can I pronounce that word?
Oh,
Knock name?
Nick.
How can? Nick. Nickname. Thank you. Very good. And Oscar, please help me
Yeah.
again. I have another difficulty with the pronunciation. It's the word stress. Temperature or temperature? Where's the pronunciation, please? Could you tell me?
I think at the end, temperature for me.
Temperature. Oh, I think it's
Yeah.
maybe the first. Okay, temperature. Oh, really
Temp-
putting you on the spot here. And what else? Of course, in English as well, guys, we have, when you're pronouncing your past participle verbs, be careful with the passive structure. So, for example, when we have ended, okay, so I just put the verb ended, okay, just for the pronunciation, ended. Anytime you see a verb that finishes in T or D, it's pronounced as id, okay, so ended or invent. Oscar, how can I pronounce invent?
Invented.
Exactly. So any verb that finishes in D and T, it's pronounced as id. Okay, excellent. Good job. Okay, so Oscar, could you read, please, a unique commercial?
Yeah. A unique commercial skyscraper is located
Mm-hmm.
at 20 Fenchurch Street in
Yeah.
London's financial district.
Uh-huh.
It was nicknamed the walkie talkie because of its shape, but a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
it earned a different nickname.
Okay.
It was discovered that when sunlight shines onto the concave mirrored facade, it is reflected directly onto streets below the building. Temperatures as high as 70 degrees have been observed during the summer, and properties
Mm-hmm.
along the street, as well as parked cars, have been damaged. After these events, the building was given the nicknames Walkie Scorchy and Fry
Mm.
Scraper. In
Mm.
2015, it was awarded the Carbuncle Cup for the worst new building in the UK.
Good job, man. Nice
So
pronunciation as
lots
well.
of passives there. Very exciting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, guys, feel so, guys, we'll give you maybe 3 minutes to anyone who's just joined us, or to Maria, of course, who's been super active with us today. Thank you so much. So, you like Hermitage? Not sure where that is. Do you know where that is, Oscar? Hermitage.
I don't. It sounds like. Do I want to say England?
So maybe M.A. Rusia, Maria, I wouldn't know your first name in general, can't remember. Could you tell us, please, where is Hermitage? And if so, guys, in general, Seamus, going to you as well. Can you guys tell us some examples of the passives, please? Man, there are so many,
Okay.
to be fair. Huh. Interesting. I'll just focus on my pronunciation rules. Well, to be fair, Oscar,
Okay.
like for anybody learning, the pronunciation of past participle verbs, it's quite difficult. With the open and closed sounds.
Mhm.
It's a question of phonetics as well. Interesting. So yeah, I'm just
Okay.
trying to think.
Absolutely. Marina, can you write, can you find, say, two passives from this text? You have a look for some passives. And Paul, could you read again the
Yeah.
paragraph?
Yeah, of course. So a unique commercial skyscraper is located at 20 Fenchurch Street in London's financial district. It was nicknamed, thank you for reminding me of the pronunciation, the
Yeah.
walkie-talkie because of its shape, but a few years ago it earned a different nickname. It was discovered that when sunlight shines onto the concave mirrored facade, it is reflected directly onto streets below the building. Temperatures as high as 70 degrees have been observed during the summer, and properties along the street, as well as a parked car, have been damaged. After these events, the building was given the nicknames Walkie Talkie and Skyscraper. In 2015, it was awarded the Carbuncle Cup for the worst new building in the UK. Interesting, interesting indeed.
Okay. Well, let's do it sentence by sentence.
Very
Is
good.
located. Perfect.
Excellent. Was discovered. Good job, Seamus. Yeah, there are so many
Okay,
passives.
it's located. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a present, we've got a past. Actually, Seamus, or sorry, Oscar, I have a question. Sometimes people get confused when it's an uncountable noun and if it's singular or plural. For example, I remember there's a lesson that focuses specifically on the passive. And just say if we talk about coffee, okay, coffee is uncountable. Of course, a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee. What's the answer? Coffee are drunk or coffee is drunk around the world? What is the correct answer and why?
Coffee is drunk.
Very good. Because it's uncountable. So I can say coffee are drunk. Never.
No, but you might be specific, like I don't know, chocolate or cocoa beans are eaten. If you use like beans
Okay.
countable, maybe.
Yeah, because you've got 1 bean, 2 beans, of course. Yeah, absolutely. It can be confusing for sure.
Yeah, especially in people. The
Yeah.
people are nice. The people
Yeah,
is
that's
nice.
one kind of that confuses people as well. Like 1 person, 2 people, 1 child, 2 children. What is it? 1 tooth, 2 teeth, toothbrush.
Yeah.
Child, children, woman, women. Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you there. Good job, Maria. Excellent.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, well done, Marina. Lots of passives there. Perfect. Well done.
Good job. Good job. Good job, Marina. Forgive me, I called you Maria as Marina. I'm terrible with remembering names. Good job. Good job. Okay, so Oscar, I'm going to ask you again because you have so much grammar knowledge. As Maria said here, have been observed. Is this, what tense is this, please? Can you tell me?
Have been. Present perfect.
Present perfect. Okay, because we've got the been. Interesting. Okay, very good. Seamus is participating. He was a bit quiet there for a second. Okay, so coffee. So could you read as the example, please, Oscar?
Yeah. Coffee is drunk around the world. Cups of coffee are drunk around the world.
Okay, so coffee is drunk, cups of coffee are drunk. Exactly. That was the question that I had. Thank you, Seamus. Good job. Excellent. Yeah, because cups of coffee, exactly. Or it's like a piece of cake, or a slice of cake, 2 slices of cake, a loaf of bread. Interesting.
Good.
But also,
Okay, good passes there, Marina. Right. We're going to ask Marina here.
Okay.
Marina, please tell us, how are passives formed? Or should we be nice? Specific. Yeah.
I don't know, give her a second. She's being very, very participant. I'm sure she could tell us how the passive is formed. Maybe if we go back to our first examples of, well, Seamus here says Paul will be hit by the ball. Thanks, Seamus. Yeah, this is a nice, easier way to find it. So yeah, Marina, when you're ready, how is it formed? Interesting.
So apart from buildings,
Mm.
what other times do we use passives, Paul?
I suppose for inventions.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, The Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa was painted by who? Can you remember, Oscar? Who paint? So yeah, the direct question is who painted the Mona Lisa?
Who painted the Mona Lisa? Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa.
Very good, because I almost had forgotten there for a second. I'm happy you remembered. That's why I asked you the question.
I was like, please don't put me on the spot. I thought I was too much of a guess there.
If you asked me that question, it would have been more awkward for sure. Thanks, Oscar. Very good. I need to learn history in the meantime.
Marina, of course, is doing very well, and she's got it.
Very good, Marina. Excellent. So subject plus to be plus past participle. Marina, you're on fire. Very good. Well done.
Yeah. Cool.
Excellent. Yeah, that's how we form it. Exactly. Plus to be plus past participle.
Okay, let's go through these together. Paul, can you read number 1?
Okay, so the example is the walkie-talkie was awarded. Okay, that's the past passive. Okay, so let's see. The subject here is past simple passive. Okay, so it's a specific time.
So Marina, can you fill in the blank for us? And Paul will read the sentence without the answer. Just read the blank, Paul.
Yes, thanks. Okay, so the Sydney Opera House in 1973, and the infinitive verb is open. Okay, and many of Italy's, don't forget your H guys, historic buildings, the verb is add to the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list. Number 3, the Eiffel Tower, the verb is not build in 1999, and it's a past simple passive. The Pyramid of Giza did not turn into a theme park, present perfect passive. And the Empire State Building not use as an antenna to contact alien lives. Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good.
Paul's open.
Yeah, we'll give her maybe 3 more minutes just to fill in the blanks. But good job. The first answer is correct, Marina. You're doing really, really well. Excellent work. Again, though, it's just the pronunciation of those verbs. Again, past participles can be complex. So just to tell people another rule, when you see the past simple verb talk, okay, when there's a k sound, it's pronounced as so talked with the T sound as the phonetic. And for example, when you pronounce the word call, okay, even if you see the way I don't open my mouth while speaking, cold, okay, so that's why it's pronounced as a D.
And that's always a difficult pronunciation, the difference between cold.
Yeah, cold and cold.
Is
Ooh, it can be so
cold.
specific.
Yeah.
Certainly pronunciation is complex. So Marina, any idea of the answer for number 2 or 3? Okay, so we know that was opened. Okay, the Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Very good. Capital M. Seamus, please work on your punctuation. Very good. Yeah, so the Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. That is correct. Excellent.
What about architects then? So your dad is an architect, Paul. Do you know some famous architects?
Can I ask you that question? My dad
No,
is a
you
famous architect.
absolutely cannot. No.
No, I'm going red because I can't think of any on the spot. Famous architect. I can tell you some famous painters, but I can't think of any right now. Can you remind me? Can you remind me of one?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Just give me 10 minutes and Google.
Thanks very much. Okay.
No, I think, yeah.
Oh, Marina's on fire here.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So maybe Oscar, do you want to read number one?
Yep. So the Sydney Opera House was opened. Perfect, Marina. Many of
Yeah,
Italy's historic buildings have been added to the UNESCO
very
World
good.
Heritage Sites list.
Great job.
Why don't you do three, Paul?
Okay, just as Marina told us the answer, thank you, Marina. You know your passives better than me. So the Eiffel Tower wasn't built. Okay, very good. In 1999, of course, built is in irregular. Okay, and of course the Pyramid of Giza. Okay, so very good. Okay, it's been correct in terms of the tense. Okay, but the Pyramid of Giza, Oscar, is that singular or plural?
This is singular.
Oh, okay, exactly. So yeah, it's why we get confused sometimes. So maybe Marina, can you think of the answer again, and then we can just clarify. It's the tense is correct, but the Pyramid of Giza, it's a if you can think of singular third person.
Good. Seamus, does Ted Mosby count as a famous architect?
I
I don't think so, Seamus. But he's the only architect fictional I can think of, I think. So he's famous. He's a famous fictional architect, if that helps.
maybe. Good job, Marina. Fantastic. Okay,
Perfect.
hasn't. Good. Okay, so that's basically a very good correction. And Oscar, if you can read the final one, number 5, please.
The Empire State Building is not used as an antenna to contact aliens.
And we call that the present simple passive. So well done,
Present
Marina.
simple.
Okay, very good.
Negative. It's
Just
not.
before we move on, guys, the present continuous passive does exist as well. Just throwing that out there. For example, at the moment, a new supermarket is being built. Okay, so it does exist. Okay, it can be a bit confusing because we have the verb to be used twice, but at the moment, okay, so typical time phrases with the present continuous would be at the moment, now, currently, constantly. So constantly, or currently, excuse me, confusing my words here. So at the moment, a new supermarker, fantastic spelling. Su- my
Well,
spelling is not
I
good
didn't
today.
notice that before, actually. You got away with it. I didn't notice it. So there you go.
Excuse me, supermarket,
Maybe
supermarket,
there is a supermarket somewhere that's being built,
supermarket.
like a massive one. Ah!
Cool.
Cool.
Shall we move
Fantastic.
on?
Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, we'll go slowly through this one, sentence by
Okay.
sentence again. Paul, can you read the first sentence? You can take that pronunciation.
All right. The Chuo Shinkansen rail line will be built between the two major Japanese cities, Tokyo and Nagoya. The trains are expected to reach speeds of 505 kilometers per hour, which means the distance of 286 kilometers can be covered in only 40 minutes. The train speed is increased through the use of magnets, which reduce friction. Originally, this new rail system was projected to cost 40.6 billion euro, but because of the need to dig so many underground tunnels, the designers now say the project will be completed at a cost of 71.8 billion. Okay,
Yeah.
so while our wonderful active student Marina and others who are listening are trying to find the passives again, um, Oscar, I just have one or two questions on vocabulary, please. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. You know the meaning of, it says on the second last line, to dig. What is to dig?
To dig, for example, if I want to dig a hole in the ground, then
Okay,
I will use a spade
a spade. Okay,
to dig,
okay,
to go under
okay.
the ground.
Go under the ground. Very nice. I liked your gestures as well when you were explaining. Very, very clear.
I'm miming.
Okay, very good. Yeah, absolutely. And I just have another question, please. It's the pronunciation. Maybe I didn't say it correctly. In the middle, we have the train's speed is increased true or through. What is the correct pronunciation, please?
I would say through,
Perfect. Yeah,
but
so
maybe it's
through.
different in Ireland.
Yeah, we have this famous saying, we say three, Irish people say tree, but technically speaking, the correct English is three because you pronounce it. Very
Yeah.
good. Interesting. Okay, so Marina's coming out with more passives. Very good. Will be built. Excellent. What type of a passive is that, Oscar? Will be built.
It's a future simple passive.
Ah, the future simple. Okay. Can I use, for example, a new bridge is going to be built. Can I use that as well as a passive?
Yes, present continuous passive.
Yeah,
You'd
it's
probably
going to
need
be
to
built.
give me a time. Do you think?
Good. Yeah. So, for example, a new bridge is going to be built next year, for example.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
these
very
super fast trains. Amazing, the speed. 505 kilometers an hour.
much. Oof, that's too quick for me. Do you like taking
Too quick.
trains in general?
I think yes, but usually they are quite expensive. For
Absolutely. I agree
example,
with
I
you
think
there.
probably cheaper to fly and to train can be covered. What does it say?
Can be covered. Good job. Yeah, can be covered is correct. It's a modal passive. Very good. Excellent. Good job. Good job, Marina. Excellent. Modal passive. Yeah, as Seamus said. Good job, Seamus. Very participant. Modal passive. Excellent.
James said 71.8 billion is pocket change for Seamus, which
In your
is
dreams, mate. In your dreams.
yes, in your dreams, definitely there.
Interesting.
You'd have to have pretty big pants. All right,
Marina,
fantastic again,
thank you.
Marino. Good, really good passages there.
Will be
Okay,
completed.
how are future and modal passives formed? Can you tell us, Marina?
Ooh.
Speaking of project costs, I think it's really interesting when, for example, people say a project is going to cost this much, but the
Hmm.
actual figure is so much higher. It's very
Hmm.
interesting. I think every time the government tries to build a big project, the costs are always way more than they think.
Absolutely, Oscar. I think in another
But I
life
don't really
you should be.
understand it because it's like, how can it be so much bigger? 40 billion to 70 billion. Very
I know. You should
strange.
write a letter of complaint, mate. You should tell them. Tell them how you feel.
I already
Let
have,
them
Paul.
know. Protest. Protest for
A
sure.
lot. A lot of letters of complaint will be written by me.
Very good. Nice one. Will be written on the spot. Good job. Seamus, did you catch that wonderful example by Oscar? If you could write that example that Oscar said, or maybe he needs to improve his listening skills. We don't know. It's from Donegal, you see.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
know. We don't know what type of listening skills they have. Oh, good job. Marina, will be excellent. Will be completed. Good.
Lovely.
Pronunciation will be complete. Ah, yeah, completed. Yeah, because it's a T and it's pronounced as it. Yeah, I was wondering. Cool, cool, cool. Will be completed. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's just do that one.
Oh,
Right, Marina. Very good. Plus modal verb. Can you please? A lot of letters. Very good. Let's
thank
see.
you.
I would like would. Marina, can you do modal perfects with would and could? What do you think, Paul? Do you think we can use these?
Yeah, we could. For sure. Could can you remind me? Could talks about politeness or probability, Oscar?
Both. You
Ah,
could use it
thank
in
you.
politeness. Could
Mm-hmm.
you pass me a pen? And
Ah, okay.
possibility. We
Yeah,
could go to the cinema tonight.
we
Yeah.
could. Yeah, as like a suggestion, like how about or what about. Reminds me of lesson
Yeah.
6.3, I think, as far as I remember. I think that's one of the lessons that you use to talk about suggestion phrases. Very useful anyway, we use it every day, that type of language. Yeah, so subject plus modal verb plus be plus the past participle. That is correct. Interesting. So the rail line should be completed by 2037. Or maybe just because of timing, Marina, could you just give us one example before we do our quick revision? And would as well.
Yep. I think it's very interesting the why language is more polite. If we use these
Mm,
modals, I want a pen. Can I have a
mm,
pen? Could I have a pen?
mhm.
Excuse me. Could I have a pen, please? It's almost like the longer the sentence, the more polite.
I think the thing about like for us teachers as well is teaching modal verbs is there so many possibilities. It's like you just have to be so specific. Like what is probability, what is obligation, and I think that's just the key, just to knowing the differences between must, could, can, should,
Hmm.
ought to, and then we have our semi-modals as well, but we'll save that for
Although
another
for me,
focus.
sometimes when
Mm,
I'm teaching, I like to, make
yeah,
sure the students understand that with context, a lot of modals
absolutely,
are interchangeable in the context.
exactly,
We understand, exactly what they mean even if they use would instead of could or should
yeah,
instead of would. So it's
for
not
sure.
as scary as it looks, I think.
I think the most confusing one for students is definitely would, because
Mm.
would, is used as like a second conditional. And obviously for hypothetical situations as well, like in the third conditional.
Okay, cool. So
Okay,
let's
so
last thing, Paul, before we finish, let's quickly do
yeah,
these. Can you match these?
put me on the spot here now. Yeah, so
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, I'll tell. We'll take turns. We'll take turns. Work work in progress, not yet finished.
to demolish is like to destroy.
Mhm. Skyline, the profile, the look of buildings against the
Yeah,
sky.
very good. A masterpiece is basically like someone's greatest work.
An eyesore, it makes your
Mm,
eyesore, it hurts,
yeah,
unpleasant
like
to look at.
yeah. Think of the Dublin. If you go to Dublin, the Spire is like the worst building I've ever seen in my life.
The
So it's
spire.
an eyesore. Yeah, you look at it and you're like,
Oh,
why did they build that? And yeah, to renovate
yeah.
is basically to restore something new. So guys,
Fantastic.
don't forget. a passive. The focus is on the
Here we go,
object
Marina.
and not the
I
subject.
knew the work would be finished by 5 p.m. Perfect. Really good.
I knew
Yeah.
work would be finished. Very good. Excellent. So guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, really well done, Marina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Seamus, as usual. I hope you have a lovely day, and we'll see you soon. We're doing childhood at 5 p.m., Marina, if you are free to watch that as well. Okay, well done.
Thanks, guys.
Have a lovely day. Goodbye from me and Paul.
Bye guys. Thank you so much.